As the only Australian on the grid, Daniel Ricciardo was eager to deliver in qualifying. But he tried a tad too hard. Some crestfallen spectators had to accept that he wasn't going to be in the battle up front, at least in the early stages of the race. But he didn't appear too dismayed. So the grid saw Hamilton on pole from Vettel, with their teammates Bottas and Raikkonen on the second row. Max Verstappen lined up in 5th place, with Romain Grosjean 6th. And they were followed by Felipe Massa starting in 7th and Carlos Sainz 8th. The top 10 was completed by Dani Kvyat and Sergio Perez. Race day drama did not take long to unfold, as Daniel Ricciardo discovered on his reconnaissance lap.
I got a problem.
Understood. Can you describe the issue, please?
Engine's still running, but I'm stuck in gear. Just let me know if you want me to stay in the car.
Okay, Daniel, can you get out, please?
Christian Horner's consternation was clear to see. The recovery crew was quickly on the scene, and there was still time to return the car to the pits as the grid gradually assembled. But a pit lane start would be the very best that Ricciardo could hope for. The rest of the grid took up their position in preparation for the race start, with Hamilton on pole and the Ferrari of Vettel alongside, while his team principal Maurizio Arrivabene watched the monitors in the garage. The 2017 season blasted off, with Hamilton making a peach of a start, while Vettel's was less effective, and that put him under pressure from Bottas. The Ferrari held second place into turn 1, while further back, 1 or 2 drivers touched the grass, but everyone survived the first turn. Hamilton led, Vettel was second ahead of Bottas, while Raikkonen was 4th ahead of Verstappen. The midfield was looking cramped, but further back the first race incident of the year was to involve Magnussen and Ericsson. The Haas and the Sauber made contact. Both went into the gravel at turn 3, but kept their engines running and were able to limp back out. No blame was apportioned, but both of their races would be compromised by damage. At the Red Bull garage, a faulty sensor had been replaced, and Ricciardo was dispatched to chase the field. Much to the delight of the partisan crowd. Smoke from the back of a car's never a good sign, and sure enough, it signalled the end of the race for the other Haas car of Romain Grosjean on lap 13. A bitterly disappointing end after qualifying superbly in 6th. At the front of the race, Hamilton found he was struggling for grip, and Vettel had closed the gap as the pit window opened up. On lap 18, Hamilton was called in for what would prove to be his one and only stop of the race. The Mercedes crew prepared to change the 2017 spec wider tyres for the first time in the heat of competition. And he switched from ultra soft to soft tyres. Vettel pitted 5 laps later, having put in some rapid lap times on the ultra softs. The stop went cleanly, but even better for Ferrari was the fact that Hamilton had got stuck behind Max Verstappen. And as Vettel emerged from the pits and accelerated down towards turn 1, he was able to squeeze ahead of the duelling pair, and Mercedes knew that crucial track position had been lost. Toto Wolff was not a happy man. Verstappen continued to harass Vettel as the Ferrari picked up speed on the new soft tyres. But once into the groove, Vettel was away. Hamilton was still losing time behind Verstappen, and Mercedes were attempting to come up with a solution.
We're thinking B now, thinking plan B.
Daniel Ricciardo's weekend had been pretty tough already, and it was about to end in similar fashion on lap 28. A lack of outright pace had been overshadowed by a lack of reliability for the Australian, culminating in a weekend to forget.
Okay,
Okay, Daniel, P0. Sorry, mate. Car's done.
Meanwhile, double world champion Fernando Alonso was having his work cut out to stay in the points. Esteban Ocon was determined to prove that his promotion to Force India was well deserved, while Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault was also engaged in the multicoloured battle for 10th. It all came to a head on the run into turn 1, where Ocon slipstreamed past Alonso and Hülkenberg attempted to take both. Ultimately, he had to settle for tucking in behind Ocon and ahead of the McLaren. Alonso had fought valiantly but was unable to fend them off, and as he continued to drop away, it became clear that he had some sort of suspension problem.
There is something wrong with the car. It's pulling to the left. Something on the suspension maybe.
McLaren's racing director Eric Boullier had anticipated a difficult start to the season, but the fact that Alonso had run in the top 10 was encouraging. By now, Sebastian Vettel was heading to a relatively easy victory. To the delight of thousands of red-capped fans, Vettel rounded the final corner to take the first victory of the season, his second ever win in Australia, and Ferrari's first here in 10 years. Mercedes was soundly beaten into second for Hamilton and third for Bottas.
Forza Ferrari ragazzi, grazie a tutti, grazie. Grande lavoro, grande macchina, con calma. Grazie.
The testing performance had not been misleading. Ferrari proved they had a fast car and delivered on day one. Vettel took Ferrari's first win at a season-opening race since 2010, while Hamilton had to settle for second and Bottas earned a podium first time out for Mercedes. Kimi Räikkönen was fourth ahead of Verstappen, while Felipe Massa earned good points for Williams in sixth ahead of Perez and Sainz. Danny Kvyat ensured both Toro Rossos were in the points, and Esteban Ocon scored for the first time in his relatively short career. Sebastian Vettel was happy to autograph a very special piece of artwork that had been created while the race had been developing on track. And to the delight of many fans, Ferrari had taken on both the new rules and the might of Mercedes to deliver the first blow of the 2017 season.